I think it's too soon at the moment to say what impact revalidation has had, but I think I'd sooner look to the future and think that the power of revalidation is wonderful if we don't let it become a tick box approach.
I think you can see positive and negative impacts of revalidation. There's certainly some cynicism out there about revalidation, but in my immediate practice, it's enabled my colleagues to take things like patient experience much more seriously. So they know that they have to contribute patient experience evidence to their revalidation, patient feedback. And in my own practice, then that's made it very easy for me to introduce patient feedback as a regular part of our practice, because I can say to my colleagues, look, it's part of revalidation now, so let's measure that frequently. So I think it's impacted on them a lot and very positively, in that the patient voice is really coming out in what we do now.
As a trainee, I've been revalidated as part of my annual appraisal and have yet to go through the revalidation process, although I suspect I'm probably a little more geared up to it than some of my more senior colleagues, because I'm very much used to multi-source appraisal, a fine-tuning of what I've done and what I haven't done. I actually relish the prospect of my patients commenting on the care I give them.
I think the main behaviour that I've noticed for colleagues who've been revalidated is just a sense of relief. I think people are certainly the GPs that I know, are finding it quite a stressful process, even though it's meant to be just a collection of all the appraisals that you've done over the past 5 years. I think that the difficulty is because everyone's so busy with their clinical work, there's not that much time to do the preparation that people would like.
I have to confess that I haven't done it yet. So the impact that it's had has made me get my act together and get some of my necessary papers and qualifications and some of the things that I need to do beforehand. It just focuses the mind and gets you prepared for what is, I think, a useful thing. And that's kind of reflected in the experience of some of my colleagues who've already been through this process, in that it's provided them with a certain push and a certain framework to revalidate for their own good in the first instance, and then obviously for professional reasons as well.
I revalidated this year, so it's quite a close thing to me. It's really a time to reflect over the past 5 years worth of work and to gather that body of work together to bring to your revalidation. So the impact on me has been about reflecting where I was 5 years ago and thinking about where I am now. The aspects of revalidation that I think were most useful in that were about feedback from my colleagues and feedback from my patients. So I think that hearing back from my colleagues about my performance and hearing from patients about how my interactions have been with them has been really helpful for me and really impactful.